Have you ever sat down to study with the best intentions only to realize that your time slips away faster than your focus can hold, leaving you overwhelmed, distracted, and quietly frustrated as exam season approaches like an unstoppable storm? This feeling is not a sign of weakness, but a signal that something deeper needs to change within the way you approach your time, your energy, and your discipline. Most students believe that studying harder is the answer, yet the truth is far more subtle and powerful, because success during exams is not built on random effort, but on intentional structure that aligns with how your mind actually works. Imagine having a week that does not control you, but instead becomes something you shape with clarity and purpose, where every subject has its place, and every hour carries meaning instead of confusion. The idea of a perfect weekly study plan is not about perfection in execution, but about consistency and direction. And that begins with understanding one simple truth: your brain thrives on rhythm, not chaos. When you jump randomly between subjects without a system, your focus becomes fragmented, your motivation fades, and your confidence slowly erodes, even if you are spending hours at your desk. But when you design your week with intention, something remarkable begins to happen, because your mind starts to anticipate what comes next, reducing resistance and increasing your ability to go deeper into each topic without feeling lost. This is where balance becomes your greatest advantage, not by giving equal time to everything, but by giving the right time to the right things at the right moments. A powerful weekly plan is built on cycles, not pressure, allowing you to rotate subjects in a way that keeps your mind fresh while still reinforcing what matters most. Instead of exhausting yourself on one subject for hours, you begin to move with intention, touching different areas of knowledge across the week so nothing feels neglected or overwhelming. And yet, there is a deeper layer to this approach, one that most students overlook, because it is not just about organizing your time, but about redefining your identity as someone who shows up with intention every single day. The moment you stop seeing studying as a burden and start seeing it as a structured system that works for you, everything begins to shift, because now you are no longer reacting to exams. You are preparing for them with calm precision and quiet confidence that grows stronger with each passing day. This is where transformation begins, not in one perfect day, but in the deliberate design of an entire week that moves you forward step by step, without chaos or doubt holding you back anymore. As you begin to understand this principle, you realize that discipline is not force, but alignment. And once your week reflects that alignment, your results start to reflect it naturally, without unnecessary stress or constant self-doubt slowing you down anymore at all times forward. At this point, it may seem like everything is finally coming together, as if the simple act of structuring your week has unlocked a new level of clarity and control. But this is exactly where most students face an invisible challenge that quietly disrupts their progress without warning. The excitement of a new plan often fades when reality steps in, because life does not always follow your schedule. Distractions begin to appear, energy levels fluctuate, and suddenly the plan that once felt perfect starts to feel fragile and difficult to maintain. This is the moment where many people give up, not because they lack ability, but because they misunderstand what a truly effective weekly study plan is meant to do. It is not designed to eliminate struggle, but to guide you through it, and this distinction changes everything about how you respond when things do not go as expected. When you rotate subjects throughout the week, you are not just managing time, you are managing mental energy, allowing your brain to recover from one type of thinking while preparing for another, which keeps your focus sharper over longer periods. However, there will come a moment, often in the middle of the week, when everything feels off, when the subjects start blending together, when motivation dips, and when even the simplest tasks begin to feel heavier than they should. This is the hidden turning point, the quiet test that determines whether your system is truly strong or just temporarily exciting. In that moment, the temptation to abandon your plan and fall back into chaos becomes incredibly strong, because chaos is familiar and requires less discipline in the short term. But what most people fail to realize is that this discomfort is not a sign that the plan is failing. It is proof that the plan is working, because you are stepping beyond your old habits and into a new level of consistency that demands patience and resilience. The key is not to avoid this moment, but to expect it, to understand that every well-designed weekly system will challenge you before it strengthens you, and that this challenge is where real growth begins. Instead of reacting emotionally, you begin to rely on your structure, trusting the rhythm you have created, even when your feelings try to pull you in a different direction. This is where organization transforms into discipline, and discipline transforms to identity, because now you are no longer studying only when you feel ready. You are studying because it is part of who you are becoming. And as this realization settles in, something powerful begins to happen beneath the surface, because the same plan that once felt like a tool now becomes a foundation, holding you steady even when your motivation rises and falls unpredictably throughout the intense pressure of exam season ahead. As you move toward the final stretch of your preparation, something subtle yet powerful begins to take shape within you. A sense of control that no longer depends on perfect conditions, but on the system you have built and the discipline you have chosen to follow every single day. What once felt overwhelming now starts to feel manageable, not because the exams have become easier, but because you have become stronger, more focused, and more aligned with your purpose. Your weekly study plan is no longer just a schedule written on paper. It has become a rhythm that guides your actions, a quiet force that keeps you moving forward, even when distractions try to pull you away. You begin to notice how rotating your subjects has sharpened your understanding, how revisiting topics at the right intervals has strengthened your memory, and how consistency has replaced the anxiety that once held you back. This is the transformation that most people never reach because they stop too soon. But you stayed long enough to see the system work in your favor. You realize now that productivity is not about doing more, but about doing what matters with clarity and intention. And this realization changes the way you approach not just exams, but every challenge in your life. There is a quiet confidence that begins to grow within you, not loud or boastful, but steady and unshakable, because you know that you have prepared in a way that is both intelligent and sustainable. Even on days when your energy is low, your structure carries you, reminding you that progress is built through small, consistent actions rather than sudden bursts of effort. And as exam day approaches, the fear that once dominated your thoughts begins to fade, replaced by a calm readiness that comes from knowing you have done the work with purpose and discipline. You are no longer chasing time, you are directing it, shaping each moment with awareness and control. This is the true power of a perfect weekly study plan. Not perfection in execution, but mastery and consistency. Not rigid rules, but flexible structure that adapts while still guiding you forward. In the end, what you gain is far more than good grades. You gain the ability to organize your life, to focus your energy, and to trust yourself, even in the face of uncertainty. This is the lesson that stays with you long after the exams are over. A reminder that success is not an accident, but a result of deliberate action repeated over time with patience and belief. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.